Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Welcome and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm actually doing quite a different video for my channel. I'm going to be sharing my record collection with all of you. So I have had a record player since 2017, I think. I got it for Christmas. I will admit it's a bad suitcase player, but we're just going to ignore that. I'm going to get a better player soon. They're just really expensive. So that means that I've been collecting records since the end of 2017. I have a lot of records that I bought in myself, but I also have a lot of vintage records that were handed down to me from my mom and my grandma. So I'm going to be sharing those with you guys today as well. And I thought to make this video a little bit more interesting, instead of just like showing each vinyl to you guys, I'm also going to be sharing like a favorite song or two off of each record if I can, just to kind of, you know, make it a bit more personalized and interesting for you all. So I hope you're excited about this video. I've been wanting to do it for a very long time. So let's just get right on into it. I'm gonna be honest, there's not much of like an organization to this. I'm just gonna kind of be showing them to you in the way that I had them organized, which probably only makes sense in my head. Like there's no actual like good method to it. But anyways, the first record that I'm gonna share is Miley Cyrus, The Time of Our Lives. This is an Urban Outfitters exclusive. Look at this pressing. Come on. It is a white pressing with like purple splatter on it, and it's just literally stunning. I saw this on the website and I just knew that I had to have it. I absolutely love this record. I think my favorite songs off this record are Party in the USA, obviously, and When I Look at You, because it's from the movie The Last Song, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, and it's such like a childhood favorite of mine. So I think those two are my favorites. So to go along with that, I have another Urban Outfitters exclusive vinyl, and it is Miley Cyrus Can't Be Tamed. This one is on a really cool like gold like dipped pressing. I don't know, but like come on, this is so cool. This is also my favorite Miley Cyrus album in general. I don't really listen to Miley's new music. I've listened to like a few songs here and there, but I believe this was like the last album that like I fully listened to by her, and it is by far my favorite. I have so many favorites on this that like I need to look at the track list. I can't even begin to pick a favorite, I don't think. When I was young, my two favorites were Permanent December and Two More Lonely People. I also really love her cover of Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Stay and Scars are so good. Yeah, I literally cannot pick a favorite off this album. They're just so good, and I love spinning this one because it's just like, it's so pretty. The next one I'm very excited to talk about. It's also one that I've gotten recently, and I'm gonna be honest, it's the one that kind of got me re-obsessed with vinyl recently, because like I said, I've been collecting since 2017 and playing records since 2017, but I haven't been buying records very often because of my awful player, and you never know if it's like gonna play properly. I do have a few vinyls that just don't play on my player. They do skip a lot, so I always get nervous buying records because I don't know if they're gonna work, and they are expensive. But this one I saw, don't remember how I found it or why I was looking at it, but I saw it and I needed it, and now I've been non-stop thinking about vinyl records for like the past few weeks. Like it's all I think about. It's like what I've been watching on YouTube and on TikTok. Like it's been a huge thing. But I bought Harry Styles' A Fine Line from Target. So this is the Target exclusive edition. Are you kidding me? This black and white splatter. I can't. Like it's a clear vinyl with a black and white splatter. What more can I say? This is a 2 LP, so there's 2 splatter ones in here. They basically look the same, although this is the better of the 2. Come on, like, are you kidding me? I'm obsessed with it. It's also really hard for me to pick favorites off this one, but I think my favorite is Falling. It's just always been one of my favorite songs. This record does skip a little bit on my player. It gets like stuck in one part, I believe on the second side of the first vinyl here, but it's still beautiful. I love it, and I can't wait to play it when I actually have like a good player. But I obviously love Harry Styles. We all know this. I love this record so much, and I'm so grateful to have it because like stunning. And I wouldn't have bought this if it didn't have this cool pressing on it, because I do own it on CD. And I try not to have too many duplicates of CD and vinyl, but I had to, you know, I had to. So the next one is One Direction, Made in the AM. This was actually the first vinyl that I ever bought for myself. This is obviously One Direction's last album. I'm obsessed with it. It's one of my favorites that they've done. I don't have the records out, I just have the sleeves here because it's just a regular black pressing, and I wanted to see their faces honestly from the sleeves. So unfortunately, this record is not the deluxe edition. I don't know if there is a deluxe edition of the vinyl, so it doesn't have my favorite song on it, which is AM. But I really love Drag Me Down, especially now that I've seen Louis Tomlinson perform it live. I went to his concert, and so now it has like an extra special meaning because I didn't get to see One Direction perform it. If I Could Fly, Love You Goodbye, History. Okay, I think History is my favorite one, even though it makes me really sad because I just related to like them breaking up, and it like I still can't talk about it, but I absolutely love this vinyl. It brings me a lot of joy, and just look at my beautiful babies. I do own this one on CD, but when I saw it at the record store, I couldn't resist, you know, and I bought it, and I'm really glad that I did, because apparently this is like really hard to find now. There's an app called Discogs where you can like see how much like vinyls are like worth, and this one I think was worth like 126 bucks. So I'm very happy that I bought it for regular price. And then of course, what kind of record collection of mine would this be if I didn't have Sour by Miss Olivia Rodrigo? I bought this at Target. It's not the Target exclusive, obviously. That one has a different cover. I like this cover better for some reason. I know a lot of people prefer the other one better, but I like this one because it's the classic, it's the original, you know, it's just a regular black pressing, but I really love like the little circle label in the middle. They're really pretty. But I obviously love this album. It's so hard to pick a favorite off of this album because it changes all the time. Like I never have like a set favorite. I feel like I always come back to Good For You and Enough For You. Driver's License is obviously a classic. Favorite Crime has been a favorite in the last few months. I don't know, there was just so many favorites that I honest to God cannot pick an absolute favorite one. Happier is so good. This whole record is just honestly perfection, and it's one of my favorite albums of all time, especially since I saw it live. It's just now like extra special as well. And I'm so happy that I own it. It took me forever to be able to get it because I could not find it in Canada. I had to, like I said, go to Target to get it when our borders finally opened. But I am obsessed with this record. Then I also have You Signed Up For This by Maisie Peters. Absolutely adore this record. It's on a beautiful white pressing. This is just the standard pressing, but like, come on, it's stunning. It has like the pink label. I just think it's so like classy looking and beautiful. I also have so many favorites off this album. Tough Act has always been one of my favorites, and I was devastated she did not sing it on her tour. I really like Outdoor Pool as well. Boy is such a vibe. I'm Trying Not Friends is a vibe. Hollow. This record is just honestly perfection. Like I said, one of my favorites. The next one I have is one of my favorite records that I own. And it's kind of a weird one because it's a movie soundtrack. And I don't usually pay attention necessarily to movie soundtracks, but it's the Love, Simon movie soundtrack. This is obviously the booked movie adaptation for Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. I saw this movie like 5 or 6 times in theaters, I think, and for some reason I just became very attached to this soundtrack. It has a lot of great songs on it. I don't have the record out, it's just a black standard pressing. There's a lot of Bleachers songs on here, which I love. I really love Alfie's song, Not So Typical Love Song, and Roller Coaster. Strawberries and Cigarettes by Troye Sivan is also really good. The Oogum Boogum song by Brenton Wood is just a super fun, vibey song. It's so funny. Yeah, I think those are all my favorites off this one. It's just such a vibe, and I really, really love listening to this one. It brings me a lot of joy because it just reminds me of the movie, and I love the movie. This was also another vinyl that was like a bit hard to find. I think I had to like put in an order at my record store to be like, hey, I want this vinyl, like call me when you get it in kind of thing. Obsessed with it. The next one is one of the first ones that I bought as well, and it is the Aladdin picture disc. This is my only Disney picture disc, and I desperately want to get more. Like I really want like Beauty and the Beast and Tangled and Princess and the Frog and like all of those, but I love Aladdin. I don't know what made me buy this one in particular. Like I don't know if I saw other ones there that I wanted, or if I just saw this one and was like, yes, I want you. But I do love Aladdin a whole lot, and also I love picture discs. I've seen people say that they don't play as well as like a regular record. I have not noticed that. This is one of my favorite records, and I just realized it's busted through the bottom. Ooh, that's annoying. I might have to put this in a sleeve. I didn't realize that my sleeve thing broke that it came in. That's annoying. Anyways, my favorite songs on this. One Jump Ahead has become a recent favorite. Friend Like Me, obviously, and then of course A Whole New World are definitely my favorites. Listening to this is just a lot of fun, you know, seeing the genie spin around, and then Aladdin and Jasmine. It's a whole vibe. This was the second record that I bought, I believe, and it's not one that I listen to very often anymore. Like I don't even know the last time that I listened to it, but it's Handwritten by Shawn Mendes. I actually made a TikTok a few months ago where I was like showing records and like saying if they had like any skips on them or something. It was like a sound that was popular, and people actually got really mad at me because I said that this one had skips on it, which I just think is hilarious. But I remember when I bought this, I hadn't like fully listened to this album before. Like I like Shawn Mendes, but like I didn't know every single song of his, and so I remember sitting in the store holding on to this and just like listening to the songs on YouTube in the store so I could figure out if I wanted to buy it or not, and I did end up buying it. But it's one that I've listened to less and less as time goes on. I'm just just not as big of a Shawn Mendes fan now as I used to be, but it's a really beautiful blue transparent. One of my favorite like actual like pressings that I have because it's just so pretty. I believe it was also like my first color variant that I had because like I said, I think this was the second vinyl that I ever bought. But off this record, I think my favorites are Stitches, just because it's a classic fun bop, and A Little Too Much. That song makes me cry every single time. Like, I uncontrollably cry during that song. I don't think there's been a time that I've listened to it where I haven't cried. But songs like Air, why does that exist? Oh, I like Never Be Alone too, and like Life at the Party. It is a fun record when I put it on. I just haven't listened to it in a very long time. Okay, so now we have like a little bout of records that don't play on my player, but that still work. I'm just not able to listen to them without them like skipping, and I don't want to wreck them. So I don't have any of these records out, but they're all just like the standard pressing for that vinyl. So the first one is This Is What It Looks Like by Gracie Abrams. I also bought this at Urban Outfitters. I ordered 3 vinyls. I'll get to the other one in a second. But I ordered 3 vinyls, the 2 Miley and then another one. And then I was just kind of browsing in the store with my friend and I happened to see this. And Gracie Abrams opened up for Olivia Rodrigo on tour, for my leg of the tour at least. And I became obsessed with her in like preparation for the tour. And I really liked her vibes at the show. And I'm like thoroughly obsessed with her right now. And when I saw this record, I knew that it was going to sound amazing. And I had literally just added it onto like my list of vinyls to buy like a few days prior, which I thought was funny, and it just felt like it was meant to be, you know. My favorites on this one I think are Feels Like, Rockland, and Wishful Thinking, I think. But I really love Gracie Abrams and I can't wait for her to release her next album because I really enjoyed the song Block Me Out that she recently released. This is like a top tier album. If you have not listened to Gracie Abrams, I highly recommend it because this is just perfection. And now for my only Taylor Swift vinyl. I want to get more, but this is the only one that I have, and it is Folklore, obviously. This is kind of the album by her that kind of made me like her again. I kind of stopped listening after Speak Now because I didn't like the singles from Red that were being released, so I just never listened to the album. Then Folklore came out and everybody and their mother was talking about it, and so I was like, okay, I'll listen to it, and now I'm obsessed with it. I don't have the record out, like I said, but it is just like the standard tan color pressing, I guess. I also have so many favorites off this one, and it also changes all the time. I feel like one of my like ongoing favorites is always Exile, but recently I've become really attached to My Tears Ricochet, and This Is Me Trying, and Peace. I've really become attached to Peace recently. But like I think my first favorite off of this was Betty. Don't know why, but I really like Betty. This is just such a good record, and I know it's gonna sound amazing on vinyl when I can actually listen to it because this one also does skip, which is quite sad. I was looking for this for the longest time as well after it came out, but like they were impossible to find, and I asked for it for Christmas, I believe in 2020, and then my dad ended up buying me the CD, which I was very grateful for, but I still really wanted it on vinyl as well. And then I was randomly at like the drugstore one day and it was just there in their music section. I went to my best friend and I was like, do I buy it? Like, my dad just got me the CD, but like, do I buy it? And I was like, I'm gonna regret it if I don't. So I bought it. Okay, this is, I believe, the last one that does not play on my player, and it is Demi Lovato, Tell Me You Love Me. Favorites off this one, I mean, Sorry Not Sorry is a classic. It's a big bop. Tell Me You Love Me, obviously the title track off the album, is really good. So here's the other one that I bought at Urban Outfitters. This is also my last like modern day record. The rest are all vintage ones, but this one is the I Love Me and Still Have Me single. So this is a red translucent vinyl. So my vintage records are not in really any kind of order, but first I'll go through my 3 7-inches. I have 3 Disney storybook ones. So the first one is The Story of the Wizard of Oz. I bought this one and this next one at like this book and record shop. So it does have 2 songs on it. It has Over the Rainbow and Follow the Yellow Brick Road, but I believe they're not actually sung like from the movie. So then the other one that I bought at that store was The Fox and the Hound, which is one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. I cry every time that I watch it. This one has the songs Best of Friends and A Hunted Man. Don't really care for A Hunted Man, but I played this like a week or so ago, and Best of Friends is the one from the movie, and it made me cry because it was just so sweet, and I was like, oh my god, I love this song. Absolutely adore this one. I think this is my favorite of the 3 that I have. The last one is one that was actually my mom's, so it was handed down to me, but it is Cinderella. This was actually the first record I ever played on my player because I didn't have many records around me. This one has A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes and Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. So So the next record is one of my newest additions to my collection, and it's another one of those situations where like I wrote it down that I wanted it, or I was thinking that I wanted it or something like it, and then I found it a few days later and I was like, oh my god, like this is meant to be. So I got the Best of Judy Garland, and it's just standard black. I have them in their inner sleeves, but okay, listen. Like I said, I love The Wizard of Oz, one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite books. I love Judy Garland. I have yet to watch any of her other movies, although I really want to, but I have listened to a few of her songs before buying this and I loved them, like the Trolley song, hello. And so I was thinking like, oh my god, how fun would it be to have a Judy Garland vinyl? That just seems like such a vibe, you know, exactly what I want. Then me and my family went shopping one day and we stumbled upon this like little like thrift shop, and we weren't going to go in, but then I saw some books like in the back corner from the window, and I was like, you know what, I want to go in. And on the floor by where the books were, there was like a stack of records, or like a bin of records, and then I went through them and immediately found this Judy Garland vinyl, and I needed to have it. It was only $2, which I'm so happy about because I was prepared to pay like $10 for it because that's how badly I wanted it. I'm obsessed with it. The second that I saw that it had Over the Rainbow from The Wizard of Oz and the Trolley song, I knew that I needed to have it. I didn't care what else was on it. I was like, I need it just for those two songs. So I bought it, immediately brought it home, played it, and I can't even describe the smile that was on my face the entire time I listened to Over the Rainbow. It's just so magical, and I think because of The Wizard of Oz and growing up on that movie, there's something so comforting to me about her voice, and so I love playing this record. It just like calms me down and just makes me really happy. So this is now one of my favorite vinyls that I own. It just brings me so much joy. It's a 2 LP, so there's tons of Judy Garland songs to go around. There's even a Christmas song, which like we love. So now we have another favorite. I bought this one also at that bookstore when I bought the 2 Disney vinyls, and this one was only $1, which I thought was amazing. And like I just randomly found it because I wasn't like scouring their vinyls very hard, because like I went there to buy books, not vinyls. The Buddy Holly story. I love Buddy Holly so much. I don't know why. I went through like a big phase back when I was in high school of listening to 50s music. I was writing like a book set in the 50s at the time, and so I was listening to a lot of 50s music, and so I discovered Buddy Holly and fell in love with him. It's just a standard black pressing. All of these are going to be black, but my favorite songs off this are Every Day and Peggy Sue, particularly Every Day, but Peggy Sue is a fun vibe as well. Again, something about this record, it just feels so comforting to me. It makes me so happy. It's just, you know, it's just a fun record to just pop on, you know, and vibe to. Then I have a bunch of Elvis vinyls that were passed down to me from my grandma. So the first one is just called Elvis. I don't think it has like a specific name to it, but this is my favorite one that I have because I feel like it has the most of like my favorite songs on it. This is what the vinyl looks like. This is another 2 LP vinyl. Songs are on here. Hound Dog, obviously, All Shook Up, Jailhouse Rock, Can't Help Falling in Love, obviously. Like, if this had Burning Love on it, it would be the perfect vinyl, because like those are all my favorite Elvis songs. But yeah, this one also brings me a lot of joy. When I'm in an Elvis mood, this is the one that I put on. Yeah, I can't describe it. It's just another one that makes me really happy, and that just brings me a lot of joy. I don't think I've actually really listened to the other Elvis ones. I don't know why. Probably because that one just has all my favorites on it. But then I have Elvis Double Dynamite, and I think the only one on here that I know off the top of my head is Burning Love. So if that song, like I said, was just on that other record, it would be perfect. Maybe I should listen to this one. Like I said, I don't know if I have or not. Then we have this one that I don't think I even realized that I had because I've never listened to it, and you definitely think that I would have. It's Elvis's Christmas album. I love Christmas. Love the blue label going on there. I love Christmas. I love Elvis. So why wouldn't I listen to this at Christmas time? Like, just the thought of listening to this while like decorating the tree, it sounds like perfection to me. My favorite one off this is obviously A Blue Christmas. I've definitely never listened to this one. It is Elvis Aloha from Hawaii via satellite. I don't even know what's on here, honestly, because it doesn't say on the back, but it was recorded live at the Honolulu International Center, 12:30 a.m. Sunday, January 14th, 1973. The next one is actually another one of the newest ones to my collection. Like I said, I've been on a record buying spree recently, but this is one that I bought just the other day, and it is the La Bamba movie soundtrack. This one was actually 10 bucks. It was from my local record store, and I got it when I was buying all of the sleeves and everything. I've only seen this movie once, and I don't remember it like too clearly. My favorites on this are La Bamba and We Belong Together. I think We Belong Together is probably my top favorite one. So then we have this one that my mom gave me that I've actually only listened to like twice, but it's Cyndi Lauper. She's so unusual. I don't really listen to Cyndi Lauper. She's never been like a favorite of mine, although I do obviously like the songs Girls Just Wanna Have Fun and Time After Time, which are both on here. Time After Time is like by far my like favorite one. That's what the back looks like. I have a lot of Disney records now. I believe the rest are like just Disney ones that my mom gave me. So we have 50 happy years of Disney favorites. My mom wrote her name on all of these, which is just great. This is another 2 LP. I really love Second Star to the Right. The Bare Necessities, I don't know why, but I really like that song. It brings me joy. There's a lot of great songs on this. This is probably my favorite Disney compilation vinyl that I have. And then, despite this not being one of my favorite movies, this is one of my favorite records, Sleeping Beauty. Just looks like that. I love the Disneyland labels. They bring me so much joy. But yeah, I don't love Sleeping Beauty. I find it to be a very boring movie, but this is a record that I've been listening to quite a bit recently because a lot of it's like just like very like calming, kind of like instrumental type music, and it's just something that I've been enjoying putting on in the background while I'm like reading or something. So this is another record that I bought at my local record store the other day. It's Disney's Christmas Favorites. I have yet to actually listen to this, and I'm a little worried. I bought it for $1, so it's not that big of a deal, but I am a little worried that it's not going to play properly because when my mom looked at it, she said it looked really like scratched up. So I'm worried that it's not going to play, so I'm scared to listen to it. So I can't necessarily say like what my favorites are on this one. So I really hope that it plays, but if it doesn't, it's still a very cute record. This is another one of my favorite ones. It is the soundtrack to Peter Pan. Again, just a yellow labeled Disneyland vinyl. My favorites on this one again are probably just Second Star to the Right, You Can Fly. The next one is Most Beloved Songs from Walt Disney's Great Motion Pictures. This one has a slightly different label. It's like rainbow a little bit. I don't really know what my favorites are on this one. I don't know if I've listened to it. Then we have Winnie the Pooh and Christopher Robin in the House at Pooh Corner. So this is actually like an audio version of the House at Pooh Corner, which I think is funny because I thought it was Winnie the Pooh music and it's not. It's a fun time. I've only listened to it once. Probably won't listen to it again. Then I have the Bambi soundtrack. I also don't like the movie Bambi. I think it's boring. I love the characters like Thumper. Thank you. But again, just like Sleeping Beauty, it is a fun record to just kind of have on in the background. Okay, we're down to the last 3. So this is another one that I've never listened to and probably will never listen to, but it's Songs from Dr. Dolittle. Never seen this movie. Never seen any of these movies because I think they've remade it a time or 2. I have no idea what songs are even on here. It doesn't say anywhere. It's cute though. So this is another one that I have not listened to. Mary Poppins. I have probably seen Mary Poppins when I was a kid, and I obviously know a few of the songs just because they're iconic, but I don't want to listen to this, I don't think, until like I watch the movie, which I want to do soon. Like, it needs to happen because if I did watch it as a kid, I don't remember it. And the last one is the Smurfs All-Star Show. I love the Smurfs. Don't love this record if I'm being honest. I only got through a few songs and I was like, nope, I can't listen to this. So this is one that I just have for the aesthetics of it, and again, it's one that my mom gave me. Okay, so that was my entire vinyl collection. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not yet already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.